Well done Ubisoft, you've done it again. You've regurgitated a Tom Clancy IP, combined it with The Division and Far Cry, put a nice shiny graphical cover over it, and given us a mediocre open world shooter. Okay, so that opening intro may have been a little bit on the harsh side. There are many great things I liked about the beta, but when compared to other open world shooters, especially on the PC, it really doesn't come close. Especially when Ubisoft have labelled this as being the ultimate open world shooter. They've got a long way to go if they're ever going to reach that mark. In fact, Ubisoft's top listed feature for this game is that it's the ultimate military shooter set in an open world. And personally, coming from a PC standpoint, that is simply not the case. There are so many better military shooters out there, for example Arma 2, Arma 3, and even mods like Project Reality for Arma 2 that just go above and beyond what this game currently achieves. With that in mind, I really feel that you have to think about Ghost Recon as more of a very casual Arma. So if you're one of those people that really couldn't get into Arma 3, Arma 2 maybe, you found it a bit too realistic, a bit too tactical for your liking, and you want something a bit more streamlined, a bit more casual, then this definitely may be a game that you want to take a look at. It is very fun, especially if you're playing it on co-op. The single player is a little lackluster, doesn't really offer anything. It's kind of fun, but especially where the beta is concerned, means there's only 6 missions. Once you've completed those story missions, there's not really a lot that really draws you in. The kind of side quest type things where you have to collect resources for the rebels that you're helping in the game really don't hold much. They're really kind of like an add-on, and again, more fun in co-op. That's really where this game shines, is the 4-player co-op, which is really nice, really streamlined, and it's just a case of dropping in and out of your friends list. It's really quite nice what they've done with that, and I think that's probably the main positive of this game. On top of that, it doesn't look half bad either. I played most of it on high settings, mainly because there weren't any dedicated drivers, and I was getting a little bit of stutter here and there on high and ultra. You could easily play out on ultra, no problem with my 1080, etc., and the game looked absolutely fantastic. There is a nice draw distance, there's not much pop-in of textures, if any. They got this really nice thing, Ubisoft, where things kind of blend in rather than pop in with textures as you get closer. And to me, the game looks great. I can't fault the game on its looks at all. It's even got some nice options with the heads-up display as well. You can turn elements on and off to your liking, and they've even got a key assigned, so you can turn the whole hood off if you like, just by toggling it with a key, which is pretty damn good. I like that sort of thing. My only gripe is I would like to turn the mini-map on and off. I would like a little key for that to be toggable. That would be really great. And I'd also like the tagging of enemies to be a little bit better. And by that, what I mean is you can simply throw your drone up in the air, tag a load of enemies, and that's it, you're done. You know everyone is, you've got the drop on them straight away, and it just makes the game far too easy. I mean, it's not a difficult game anyway. I played it on the hardest difficulty setting, no issues. I died several times, but it's really not a difficult game whatsoever. I just wish that tagging enemies was a time thing. So you go up in your drone, you tag the enemies, and after a certain couple of seconds, etc., those start to fade away. Or you throw your drone up, you tag a load of enemies, or go through your binoculars, whatever, and those show you the last known locations. So the tags stay there for a bit, but they only show you the last known location, and they don't follow the actual AI around, because it just becomes far too easy, especially when you know that they've seen you and you've got these flashing icons all over the screen. It's just, yeah, it takes the fun out of it a little bit for me. I do like tagging enemies. I think that's cool that you can scope the area out and do a bit of reconnaissance, but I just wish it was a bit more difficult than it actually is. And talking about the game being easy, you've also got the gunplay, which is pretty damn easy. I mean, what can I say about it? There's no weapon recoil, especially you would expect a sniper rifle have a bit of a kickback, but in this, no, not a chance. I think they've tried it. Every now and again I find a bit of spray from the weapons as though it's recoiling all over the place, but I don't know what they've done there. It's just really quite simple, and it reminds me a lot of The Division. I didn't like the gunplay in The Division much either, so if you did like that game yourself, you might like it in this, but for me, it's not great. It's, again, geared towards this casual sort of gameplay. I'm seeing that a lot in games at the moment, especially shooters, where it's not really a shooter anymore. It's just a point and fire sort of game. It's not what I would class as a classic shooter. Really doesn't hit the mark for me on that one. I'm also not a big fan of the single player element of this. I said it a bit earlier on in the video as well that it's definitely a multiplayer game. You should play this with a group of friends. You shouldn't really play it on your own. The controls that they give you for guiding the rest of the ghosts around are okay, but on a mouse and keyboard, I don't want a radial icon or a radial menu to pop up and guide me through where I want to put people. I want a key assigned to go here or regroup. I want a key assigned to that. I don't want a radial menu. Menu. If I was on a console, fine. Radial menu is fine. But on a flipping keyboard and mouse, no. I've got enough keys that I can have a button assigned to each individual task. Thank you very much. And just one more gripe before I go on to the things I did like about this game. My last gripe is about the lack of effort. You can clearly see there's a lot of detail and attention to detail in this game, but there's a lack of effort when it comes to some of the mechanics, especially the ones where you can call in helps and favours from your rebel friends. For example, you can call in a mortar attack, which would be great, and all I want is just a couple of rebels firing a mortar. That'd be great. Instead, I get a mortar that's firing on its own and damaging the enemy. Just a mortar firing on its own. That just doesn't compute with me at all. I've not really used a mortar. Maybe that's how they work. Maybe they just magically fire things into the air and they land on where you've targeted. I don't know. The other one, if I friggin' want a car to arrive or a helicopter, I don't want it just to appear at my feet. I want someone to either fly it in or drive the car in to where I've placed a flare on the ground. It baffles me that they can't achieve that. I'm sure that happened in Far Cry. Did that not happen in Far Cry? If you called a car in, a rebel would drive it to you. I don't care if the rebel spawns in 100 meters away, and I see that possibly, but I don't want the car to appear at my feet. It just breaks everything for me, and it's just that lack of attention to detail in that respect, and that just laziness, to me at least, that feels that they didn't add that in, and that's just my last gripe. That's it. I'm done with gripes. I'll get onto some of the stuff that I enjoyed about this game. Okay, so what did I like about this game? Easily put, the multiplayer. That was really fun. I had a lot of fun playing this game. It is a fun game, I'll give it that much. Especially if you've got a good group of guys with you, it can be a blast. It's really easy to jump in and out of multiplayer. I've said before, it was very streamlined. You got your friends list, you click join, boom, you're in. Fantastic. Absolutely excellent multiplayer mechanics. I've mentioned the graphics, but for me as well, on top of that, is the weather and the lighting. Really quite nice, especially when you get a stormy night. It looks really fantastic. You put your night vision on, you turn your night vision off, heat vision, etc. It looks really nice. I must admit, they've done a good job with the weather systems in the game. And lastly, the customization. The customization of the weapons and your character, I can't fault them. I think there's enough in there to keep you interested for a long time, keep adding different things to your ghost, keep changing the way they look, adding new clothes, etc. I think they've done a really nice job with that. What I hope, though, is the unlockable things for the weapons and, say, extra clothing and stuff is unlockable through the game, that you achieve it by playing the game. I don't want any of this stuff where I have to buy add-ons, buy attachments, and it's bound to happen. It's a Ubisoft game. It's bound to happen. I'm going to have to collect some sort of Uplay point or something to be able to purchase these things. But hopefully that doesn't happen, but can't fault the customization. Really nice. Haven't seen it really do a lot to the weapons in terms of how they work. Like I said, no recoil, so no point putting any extra things on there. But yeah, it still looks good. I like having a wide array of sights and things to use and stuff. So yeah, that's something I can say I truly like, is the customization level of the game. I'm pretty much going to leave it there, guys, and pick this back up after the open beta. In that, we're going to get a new area, some new missions, etc. So hopefully we'll get a better idea of the replayability of the game. Having said that, if you want to join me from the open beta, actually I could do a couple more people to play with. I'm going to put my Uplay stuff down below in the description, so hit me up on there if you fancy playing the beta, or even some Rainbow Six Siege. Love a bit of Rainbow Six Siege. So once again, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Take it easy, and I'll see you either here on YouTube or over on Twitch in the next one.